Hello guys, welcome to Ken's Money Matters, and as usual here at Ken's Money Matters, we talk about the money mindset, how to make that money, how to manage that money, how to enjoy that money, how to invest that money, and how to assure yourself of a lifetime of income. Like we always say, finance is holistic. Everything else affects your finances. So we don't just select a particular part and speak about money, and don't speak about behavior, don't speak about mindset, don't speak about managing the money. So we take everything conclusively and we make sure that you're building wealth in a consistent way. It's another day, guys, and we're going to be talking about investing in Kenya, investing for income, investing in dividends. I don't know who has heard of dividends investing or dividend investing, but this is one of the best ways in which you can create passive income. So if you're someone who is interested in the stock market, be it in Kenya, be it internationally, you would want to look into dividend investing, because with dividend investing, you're basically earning passive income, money working for you while you're sleeping, man. Money just coming in. So this is the best way to actually invest in the stock market for income. If you're looking for something that's going to give you money as regularly as possible, and of course you want to be earning from the companies that you buy, you want to get into dividend investing. So what is dividends anyway? If you invest in a company, if you buy shares of a company may decide to pay the shareholders some dividend. Dividend basically means they're sharing their profits with you. So anytime they do their valuations and end of year reports and all that, and they realize, oh, we made certain profit, or they say, okay, let's divide some of it, or let's share part of it with our investors. It's a way of saying thank you for investing with us. It does not interfere with your investment. This is just sharing part of what they have gotten from their investment. So it doesn't interfere with your own principal investment. Dividend investing is for those who want income, and this is very important for those who have retired early, for example. So they've invested enough in the stock market, so they want to be earning as much as possible as they relax and do whatever they love to do. So dividend investing is one of the ways in which you can earn income from the stock market, and a lot of people are early retired earn money this way by just waiting for the company to give them the profits, share the profits, and they earn their money. Easy money, guys. So these are some of the benefits of investing in the stock market. So we're going to be looking at dividend investing in Kenya, because I haven't seen many people speaking about dividend investing in Kenya. So in this particular video, I'm going to look at the companies you can invest with and they will pay you dividends. Not all companies pay dividends. And again, paying dividend for a company does not mean that the company is doing so well. A company may decide to pay dividends, or a company may decide to reinvest all their proceeds to make the business better, to expand it, to make it function better. Again, it's still good for you as an investor because it does not interfere with your investments. So dividends are just like an extra cash. That's why I call it passive. It's extra cash. It's cash that you don't have to plan for, you don't have to worry about. If it comes, okay. If it doesn't come, perfect, the company is still doing well. What you need to worry about are the financial records or the financial performance of the company, not dividends. And most of the time, companies that pay very high dividends are kind of risky. You have to be very careful about any dividend that is quite high. So most companies will pay you some amount of money, but usually it's not a lot of money. So what people do is they have many companies in their portfolio, and all those companies are paying them dividends depending on their investment in that company. So if each company is to pay them, let's say $100, if they have like 8 companies, that's $800. Of course, that's dependent on how much you have invested, because your dividend will be based on how much is invested. So for example, in Kenya, you would say, oh, how much do they give you per 1 shilling that you invest? So that's what you get. So they will have a percentage they give, and it will be according to every Kenya shilling that you have invested in that company. So there's something called dividend yield. Dividend yield is if you want to know the percentage of dividends paid with regards to the stock price of the company. So you want to understand what is the dividend yield in this particular company. The dividend yield basically will be a ratio of the stock price, which is the share price of the company, to the dividend that the company is paying. So you need to understand what is the dividend yield of a particular company, and how do you know which companies pay you the highest dividends? You will have to look at what is the share price in that company, 1 share, and what is the dividend they pay. So for those who are investing in Kenya, I thought it's important to look at the companies that are paying dividend yields in Kenya, so that if you want to invest, in the Nairobi Stock Exchange market, you may want to look into these companies so that you can start earning money. And of course, you want to know how much you will be earning. And before you get to how much you will be earning, you want to know which companies actually pay dividend yields. So this is a very important video in that regard. And then I will do another video, maybe a part 2 of this one, whereby I will look at the highest paying companies. So I will just look at all the companies in NSE, the listed companies that pay dividend yields, and then I will look at the top paying companies. But first of all, I think it's important that we know which are the companies actually that do pay the dividend yields. And if you want to start investing in the stock market, I have done a video on buying shares in Kenya for beginners, and it's very, very clear, very straightforward, and self-explanatory. So if you want to watch that video, I'll link it below and somewhere up here on this video. So you need to watch that before you start investing. There are certain things you need to put in place before you begin the journey of investing, so make sure all those things are in place. Let's dive into it. Let's look at some of the companies that pay dividends in Kenya. Number one company that pay dividends in Kenya is, of course, Kakuzi. So Kakuzi, of course, is in the consumer industry. They're involved in tea picking. And of course, they do other things like packing and selling things like pineapples, all manner of fruits, avocados. Basically, they're in the consumer industry. So the dividend paid in Kakuzi is basically 14 shillings on every share that you own with the company. So the share price of Kakuzi at the moment is at 364 when I'm making this video. They pay 14 Kenya shillings on every share that you own, and their dividend yield stands at 3.78%, which is okay considering all the other companies and considering that it has been a really tough year for most companies. So this data is actually dependent on the 2020 statistics because they haven't been released of 2021 yet. But yes, Kakuzi is one of those companies that pay dividend yields, and you may want to look into them. 14 shillings if that's good for you. The second company that pays dividends in Kenya and has been quite stable is, of course, Safaricom. Safaricom, everyone in Kenya knows about Safaricom. Every Kenyan, of course, who is in the diaspora knows about Safaricom. This is one of the best performing companies and also the most promising, again, because we're not going to get out of the telecommunication and the technology industry anytime soon. And Safaricom has been rolling out some really good stuff that will make it one of the industries to look for or to look at in the future. So Safaricom at the moment pays a dividend of 1 shilling and 40 cents, and their dividend yield stands at 4 to 5%, with the share price at the time of this video being at 37 Kenya shillings. So again, if you want to look into Safaricom shares, feel free to go into it for dividend payments. So it depends again on how much you own. So Safaricom, like I've said, telecommunication industry, and has a dividend yield of around 4%, paying 1 shilling 40 cents per share that you own in the company, and each share is costing you 37 shillings at the time of this video. And then of course we have the BAT, which is the British American Tobacco. This is again another good company that you'd want to invest it in the Nairobi Stock Exchange. It's paying a dividend of 30 shillings for every share that you own in the company, and it's been very consistent with regards to dividend payments, including when Corona was like a complete mess. So BAT is a good dividend investment company in Kenya. It has a share price at the time of this video of 480 Kenya shillings. So basically each share at the BAT costs you 480 with a dividend yield of 8.77%. So again, another company to look into if you are interested in NSE. The third company, or is it the fourth company? Jubilee Holdings. Again, this is in the insurance industry, or I could call the financial industries. Everyone knows about Jubilee Holdings. At the time of this video, we're standing at 270 per share. So if you want to invest in Jubilee Holdings, you're going to invest 270 Kenya shillings a share. They pay dividends at 7 shillings and 76 cents for every share that you own. The dividend yield currently stands at 2.96%. So what you should be looking at mostly, remember, is the share price and of course the dividend they pay depending on what you want to invest in. So Jubilee Holdings is another company you want to look into. And then the next company is Limuruti, that is in the agricultural sector. At the moment they have a share price of 400 Kenya shillings, and they pay a dividend of only 0.76 cents per share that you own. So if you want to be in that sector, and of course these things, like I said, all of them pay dividends based on their own board's decision. So it doesn't reflect anything really. But if you want income, you want to look at which company you are investing into and what dividend they're going to pay. So Limuruti pays quite low dividends, 0 point something cents per share that you own. Every share is around 400 at the time of this video. The dividend yield is at 0.17%. Again, you may want to look at these factors when you start investing in Limuru. Absa Bank, of course, that's the former Barclays Bank, a very stable bank too. I've always told people this is one of the stocks that you need to look out for in the banking sector. So Absa Bank has a share price of 9 Kenya shillings at the moment, and you can buy or you can get dividends of 0.9 cents. So around 1 shilling for every share that you own, and their dividend yield stands at 9.7% at the moment. Cooperative Bank of Kenya, another one in the banking industry or in the banking sector. At the moment, the share price stands at 12%, and they pay you for 1 shilling for every share that you own in dividends, and the dividend yield stands at 8.81%. Again, that's based on last year's statistics. And then we have, again, still in the banking sector, we have the Diamond Trust Bank. The share price of Diamond Trust Bank at the moment is at 75 Kenya shillings per share. They pay a dividend of 2 shillings and 70 cents for every share that you own in the company, and their dividend yield stands at 4.29%. So if you are in the financial industry, these are some of the companies you want to consider. Equity Holdings, again in the banking sector, currently the share price stands at 40 Kenya shillings. It's paying 2 shillings and 50 cents for every share that you own, and the dividend yield is at 7%, and the dividend yield is at 7.35%. Equity Holdings. Next company is Standard Chartered Bank, again in the banking sector. This is one bank that pays quite well with regards to as compared to the other banks I've mentioned. Standard Chartered, at the time of this video, the share price stands at 134 Kenya shillings. They pay 15 shillings for every share that you own, and the dividend yield is at 9.42%. And then finally comes Umeme, which is in the energy and petroleum industry, which has a very funny dividend yield. It has a dividend yield of 573%. Now, the share price at the moment stands at 6 shillings and 60 cents per share. And listen to this, they pay 41 Kenya shillings for every share that you own in dividends. Now, that can be interesting because their dividend yield is quite high. They have a very low share price, but they are paying very high in terms of dividends, which is interesting. Of course, you may want to invest into them, but you may want to know why this is so. So their share price is quite low, but their dividend is quite high as compared to other companies. Again, depends on your investment strategy and what you're looking for in the stock markets. So just to complete this video, not to make it too long, you have to be very sure about the company you're going to invest in. You have to be sure about your investment strategy. You have to know what are your goals with regards to your investments. So with the COVID situation, companies are, a bit shaky, so you have to be very certain which company you're going to invest with. And just remember that the amount of dividend a company pays doesn't show its financial health. That's a very important thing, and I have to repeat. So it doesn't mean that if a company is paying too high, then they have a good financial health record. So you have to remember that. And always remember that all investments are risky, especially when you're choosing companies one by one. It's a risky investment. So just make sure you can bear the risk and you are well diversified and your portfolio is stable. Thank you guys, and see you in the next video.